When I was young, I didn't know how much evil there was in the world. I didn't understand that my family was a dangerous place for me to be in. My body got sick when I was little. I couldn't breathe properly and my lymphatic system was completely out of whack. My mother took me to the doctor and I had swollen lymph nodes and glands. When I talk to her about it now, she says she doesn't remember any of it. I once told my mother that she couldn't handle anything more than she did when I was growing up. She had enough of her own problems. So she replied that it was good that I forgave her. I said it has nothing to do with forgiveness, it's just facts. Admitting facts is impossible for some people because when I present facts to them, they perceive it as an attack because they are always on the defensive and can't stand criticism, and they are not even self-critical. I didn't sleep at all last night. I didn't fall asleep until 8 and only slept for 2 hours. I went out and walked 3 times in the dark because I couldn't bear to suffer in bed. When life is cruel, I learn something. That's why I'm writing now. Akim says you have to choose whether you want to learn from joy or pain. I only learn from pain and I hate it. I'm like Hades in the underworld. I burn all the time and everything is a struggle. It is said that one should be grateful and not complain. I say that I am grateful that I can complain. That sentence destroys the whole concept of gratitude. It is not possible to be grateful for being in hell. The last thing that catches fire in hell is the tongue. It says in the Bible. Since I say this, my tongue cannot be burned up yet. Why should my life be good when Gaza and Congo are suffering? God is love and Jesus is compassion. Empathy is very misunderstood. Feeling empathy for a demon who is trying to destroy you is complete madness. Ego perceives humility as humiliation. That is why the Jews cannot bow to Christ. They identify themselves with the ego, not with the spirit. The one who identifies with the ego loses himself, and the one who identifies with the spirit finds himself. My mother denies me and what I say. She despises me. She always fought with me. When I was 14, I was washing dishes after dinner, and she asked me why I did it, and I said I liked it. She said I don't believe it. I left the kitchen and never washed dishes again. She tried to get me to wash the cups in many idiotic ways afterwards. She had many strange ways of forcing me. She couldn't ask me in an empathetic way with compassion and understanding. She fights me every time I want to do something and always tries to make me do things I don't want to. ACIM says, I never attack the ego, but the ego interprets me as if I do. ACIM says that attack and defense are the same. You have to cut out both to get rid of just one because they are connected and are the same. The biggest threat to not gaining insight into yourself is relationships with others. Being alone and facing yourself alone is absolutely necessary if you are to learn something and grow as a person. Marriage is a trap where you repeat the mistakes you make over and over again without learning anything. Because you can't break out. You are afraid of losing your spouse. So you don't react normally, and the result is that you lose yourself instead. They say if you take away a person's life lie, you take away their joy. What they don't say is that it is a false joy that has nothing to do with the truth. Being with people who don't want you to be yourself and who become dissatisfied with you now that you are yourself and try to correct you back to how you were after they had shaped you into how they wanted you to satisfy their needs is not possible. You only have to be alone if those closest to you cannot tolerate you being yourself. How many people are identical? Some said that love is worse than evil because evil can be understood. Migratory birds do not understand when to fly south. They are guided by something greater than themselves. The human ego is a pitiful little creature that cannot take in the big picture at all. Therefore, the spirit will win over the ego. If the Pope had been a servant of God, he would have stopped the slaughter of the Palestinians. The Vatican was built with indulgence money. To reduce your sin, you had to pay money. The Druids in Ireland were in contact with God directly and did not want any influence from the Vatican. Therefore, the Vatican killed all the shamans and traumatized Ireland, as the world is now traumatizing Palestine, and before that traumatized China and Africa. Bowing to the priesthood. The Pope and Mammon are the same. I had a girlfriend who was cruel to me, especially cruel when I was in pain. I asked her why, and she said she did it to make me strong. My ex-wife and my mother are like that. I was at sea once with my mother, and when we came ashore I was so cold that I couldn't cut the fish. Her reaction was aggression, anger and contempt, and she called me a wimp, weak and complaining.